So I don't remember the first video game that I actually ever really played. As far back as I can remember, my brother always owned a PlayStation. We had Metal Gear Solid, Final Fantasy VII, Abe's Odyssey. But the game that I always remember playing a crap ton of was Digimon World. So I remember playing Digimon World and loving it. I would play it all the time as a kid. I would constantly come back to it every few years or so. And when I learned about emulating games, I even took Digimon World into school and I even played it there. So despite all the hours that I put into this game, I never actually completed it. Not until today. I'm CST from the Guild of Awesome, and today I'm going to review Digimon World. So the game starts with an early PlayStation FMV. The detail's really good, but the faces, oh god, they still give me nightmares. So our character watches two of his friends battle with Digimon, and this was the early Digimon days. This was the first Digimon game for consoles. Before this, Digimon were basically Tamagotchis, and that's actually what the kids are playing with in this cutscene. We see Metal Mamemon and Metal Greymon fighting, and this is really awesome looking for PlayStation. So once we start a new game, this old man called Digimon asks us if we have a Digivice. You bet your ass I still do. I'm a nerd, aren't I? We can name our character, which I call Master, and we can name our partner Digimon, which I obviously call Slave. He also asks us out of nowhere if we preferred the day or night. This option actually chooses your starting Digimon, so although I want to be like Batman and choose the night, I'm going to go with the more powerful Digimon that we get for choosing the day. So we play as this kid who comes home and hears a noise in his room. He finds that his Digivice is playing by itself. This scene feels like it should be in a horror movie. The fuck? So we get sucked into the digital world, and again, just look at this FMV. In particular, it's really good. So we wake up in the Digi world, and Digimon explains that Digimon used to all live happily together, in harmony. Then some evil force happened, and now most of the Digimon have gone wild. And our character, who loves Digimon, he's wearing the Digimon brand clothing, and he loves watching his friends play Digimon. When Digimon says that he's a Digimon, our hero says, "Digi what?" Yeah, so this is a perfect example of the dialogue for this character for the rest of the game. In fact, most of the dialogue in general. Dialogue sucks. So that's the premise. I won't go into any more detail about the story, but I will say that the plot points are really spread thin. From this point on, you only get scraps of history and hints as to what the evil force is. But the game is really about rebuilding File City. So that's the objective of the game: explore the massive File Island and search for recruitable Digimon. These Digimon will come and join File City, which is our main base. Some Digimon will bring new features like an item store or add a fast travel system. Some Digimon will upgrade these buildings and features. Some Digimon add cosmetic changes, and some Digimon do fuck all. So, how do you get Digimon to join you? Well, one thing I like about Digimon World is that it's not just about beating Digimon in a fight. Although most are, a lot of Digimon will join the city just to help them out. Some you need to solve puzzles for, some you need to win minigames, and some others just need talking to. As I pointed out before, the dialogue is pretty terrible. It's poorly translated, and the main character talks like a poorly written dumb kid, constantly talking about friendship and being overly nice. Gameplay wise, Digimon World is a pet monster raising simulator. You need to look after your Digimon by feeding him, letting him rest and sleep when he's too tired, give him medicine when he's sick, and what this game is infamous for, you need to escort your Digimon to the bathroom so he can poop. The bigger your Digimon is, the louder his footsteps are, the more he eats, and of course, the louder he poops. Actually, pooping is actually a really big part of this game. That's a really bizarre sentence, but just hear me out. So your Digimon needs to poop in a bathroom. If he poops himself, then a pile of shit will stay on the floor, and it will stay there until you clean it up. But the only way you can clean it up is by using Numemon or Sukamon to eat the poo-poo. But if you don't have Numemon or Sukamon, then you actually can't clean up the poop, so it's there forever as a constant reminder of your failure. And it is really unfair that Digimon can poop in their sleep. I have no control over that. When I played it as a kid, I even slept in front of bathrooms and they still shat themselves. And the reason this is actually important is because it contributes to what your Digimon digivolves into. I'll get into more detail on this later. There's even some shit-based attacks. Literally, shit-based and fart attacks. What the fuck? Alongside looking after your Digimon, you need to train him, increase his stats to make him more powerful in order to defeat harder Digimon. In fact, that's what you'll be spending most of your time doing. Not only do Digimon have different types, like data, vaccine and virus, which will affect where they can go in the world, but they also have different elements. But also if you take a fire Digimon into somewhere that's cold, then it increases the risk that they can get sick, and vice versa. When you get into a fight, you have no direct control over your Digimon. Depending on its brain stat, you can give it commands and teach your Digimon new commands by increasing the brain stat. Even when you have new commands, your Digimon may ignore your command, and if their speed stat is too low, then it may take them a while to actually do something. The battle system is surprisingly complex. There are a crap ton of different attacks to unlock. Some attacks can apply status effects like stun or confusion. There are different elements. More powerful attacks use more MP, and they also take longer before the attack actually hits, meaning you can be interrupted. You can use items to boost your Digimon stats during battle. You can also restore HP and MP, and cure negative status effects with items. You also have a finisher attack that slowly builds up during a fight. When you get the opportunity to use a finishing move, you need to spam L1 and R1 in order to build the power of the attack. And that's one of the most stressful things you'll be doing in this game. One thing I realised late into the game is that every attack, no matter how weak, will knock the enemy down, and can even interrupt the enemy's attack and finishing moves. The same thing applies to you, but my point is, once you've figured this out, just use an attack that's really fast. Make sure your speed stat is high, and you can win the fight by simply not allowing the enemy to attack. You need MP to do any attack. Enemies have a limited MP, of fucking course. When you run out, your Digimon just stands there. You aren't really screwed, you can wait until you get your finisher attack, but it's really frustrating just watching your Digimon do fucking nothing. Now a massive selling point about the Digimon franchise is Digivolution. Training cute baby Digimon into badass ultimate Digimon. However, the Digivolution system in this game is one of the most complex systems in the history of gaming. So everything about your Digimon contributes to Digivolving. Its stats, how happy it is, how disciplined it is, and how many times it shat itself. In this game, Digimon can evolve into multiple different Digimon, so there are different conditions you need to meet in order to get each one. I mean, just look at this and think back to the time when we couldn't get guides online when this game was out. It would be impossible to figure out what conditions you need in order to get certain Digimon. And so here's where we find the game's fatal flaw, a problem so bad that it put most gamers off the game for good. Digimon have a lifespan. Once they die, you have to start all over again with a new Digimon. You need to digivolve your partner Digimon to an ultimate in order to live the longest. But here's the main problem. You need to train your Digimon in order to meet the Digivolution requirements, but training makes the in-game time fly by, so by the time you're strong enough to fight in the harder areas, you only have a short amount of time to do so. And that's even if your Digimon don't die during training. What quality of life do I give my Digimon? They spend their entire lives training and they die before they even get into a single fight. I call this flaw the circle of death. It's a circle of death! Now let me just guess why most people never played this game and why it got such a bad reception on launch. Now let's just think back to the time before we actually had guides online. You start off with a rookie Digimon. No matter what, you will get a champion, even if it is... Numemon. Then you train even more in the hopes that you get an ultimate Digimon. Then with an ultimate Digimon, beat a large chunk of the game, but then your Digimon will die of old age. Then you think, okay, let's see what Digimon I can get this time. Then you spend forever training your Digimon and it will probably die, so you just rage quit the game and never play it again. So because of this, it feels like you're constantly restarting your progress, as you spend hours just training, feeling like you're making no progress. And like I mentioned, this was before we had guides, so there was a chance you didn't get an ultimate Digimon. A minor annoyance is when your Digimon is either going to digivolve or die, there's a split second where the exact same thing happens. Your character stops moving, looks to his Digimon, your Digimon walks over and stops. Now at this point we're all like, please, 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 and then he's actually digivolving. Yeah! Oh no. If you want to play with your favourite Digimon, well it better be Metal Greymon, because some Digimon are objectively better than others, and have naturally higher stats. Even when playing this game with guides, it's still really hard to train your Digimon to an ultimate. And speaking of guides, to this day nobody knows shit about this game. There's a good reason for that, which I will explain later, but there's so much misinformation and incorrect guides out there, it's really interesting to see. There's still a lot of people don't know about this game even though it's so old. So why don't people know so much about this game? Well, I'm going to blame the fact that there's so many Digimon and events that spawn that are completely random. Now I'm just going to use one example to show how bullshit the randomness in this game is. fucking Monochromon who owns a shop in the middle of fucking nowhere. And in order to get him to join the city, you'll need to work in his shop and make a crap ton of profit. First of all, I'm pretty sure you'll make more money in a city full of people rather than being out in the middle of fucking nowhere. And secondly, not only are you trusting a complete stranger to run your store, that stranger is also a little boy. Maybe you should consider another fucking career. So here is the most random and bullshit thing in any video game I've ever played. So you need to make a lot of money, but there are 4 randomized factors that can work against you. Number 1, what customers will buy. As you would expect, items are priced differently, and you want the Digimon to buy the more expensive stuff. But as I said, what they choose to buy is completely random. Number 2, haggling. So you can increase or decrease the price of an item. Then you can suggest this price to the customer, and then they'll make a face that shows if they are happy with the price or not. But it's complete bollocks. Even if they say they are happy with the price, they can still refuse. And vice versa. Number 3, what Digimon come into the store. So apparently some Digimon are easier to haggle with than other Digimon, so you want the Digimon that are easier to convince. Number 4, you can be doomed to fail from the start. So I've used an emulator to capture this footage, and by using save states to get the best possible outcome, I've still failed several times. And just besides fucking Monochromon, there are still a ton of other Digimon and events that spawn randomly. So if you know where they spawn, but they just haven't, you just need to keep coming back the next day and hope that they spawn. Another major aspect of this game is the adventure. The map is gigantic and there are tons of places to explore, tons of stuff to do, tons of shortcuts to unlock, and a few minigames to complete. This is the best part of the game. The exploration is honestly on par with Dark Souls. There's absolutely no linear paths, there's always multiple directions and different areas that you can explore. You can find chests, which are computers, which is pretty cute, and there are hidden areas and items to reward you for exploring. You can find different training areas, some are more effective than others, and there's one training location where you can tell your Digimon to stand in poop. What the fuck is it with this game and poop? But if you are going to go exploring, you better get used to not just your character's footsteps, which are annoying in itself, but your Digimon's footsteps. I'd like you all to take a moment to think about the poor bastards that got Vademon as their Digimon. Speaking of annoying sounds, your Digimon do not shut the fuck up. In fact, it's worse when they're digivolving. Oh my god, just shut the fuck up! So the sound effects are annoying and suck balls, but the music is really, really good. There's a variety of different music, and there's even different soundtracks that play during different times of the day. There are also a lot of enemy variations. Different Digimon spawn at different times of the day, and they also look different in different areas. You can constantly find items in the world, and even if you found your millionth Digimushroom, your player is always amazed by it. Whoa. I mentioned earlier that you need guides to complete this game, not only because the game is so much random shit, but besides that there are a lot of very specific events. For example, there are a few events that you need to be told about by an NPC before that event spawns. That's okay, I guess, but there are quite a few events that only spawn once you've been told by 3 different NPCs, then the event will spawn. There's also events that you can only complete if you have a very specific Digimon as your partner. Some events can only happen at certain times of day. Speaking of which, your Digimon have sleeping cycles, and different Digimon have different sleep cycles, so in order to complete the night event, you need a nocturnal Digimon. Enemy Digimon in the field have different behaviours. Some guard locations, some walk in circles forever, some stand in one spot and do fucking nothing, some stand still until you get close to them, then they'll charge towards you. You can get into fights with multiple enemies, which I love. If you're in a fight with multiple wild Digimon, then they'll even start attacking each other. And even when you fight enemies that are working together, there's still friendly fire. The graphics for the time are really good. If you look closer, you can see a lot of detail on the faces and in the environment. And speaking of the environment, the digital world is incredibly creative. There's wires and plugs growing out of the bushes and trees, there are wireframe environments, and they grow meat in the ground. The camera angles, however, are terrible, and I think they're designed this way on purpose in order to get you ambushed by enemies. And because of that, I got so good at avoiding enemies. In fact, that's actually something you should get good at as well if you're going to play this game. I find it hilarious that in order to fight an enemy, they need to touch your character, but you can interact with something in the world and then they'll just get disappointed and walk away.
Yes, my old friend.
You see, there's no real point to find enemies. You get a pitifully small stat boost, there is a chance you can get random item drops, and you get money. But it's not really important because there's so many exploits in this game. Even when I was a kid I figured out that I could trade items with my Digimon, where I could get so much more out of the deal. So much so that I ended up never needing to worry about money ever again. Once the game is completed, a new dungeon opens up, and by the time I completed the story, there was still a shit ton left to do. I mean, look at the medals, these are basically achievements. At the end of the game I had fucking won. Even though I have an ultimate Digimon that has saved the digital world and beaten the most powerful Digimon in the entire world, Palmon thinks she can fucking take me. Overall, I spent 22 hours playing this game. I have no idea how many hours I spent fucking training, but it's still massive for just a single disc for the PlayStation 1. So do I recommend Digimon World? No. Fuck no. I mean, even saying that I do love it, I can even go as far to say this might be worth a try if you find it somewhere cheap. But you have to treat the game as a monster raising simulator. Even if you're a fan of Digimon, it's really hard to get into this game, and the randomness is just outright awful. The city building is incredibly fun and satisfying, and gives you a great feeling of progress. The monster raising simulation is annoying, but I do kind of find it interesting, and I can see how people find it enjoyable. So how would I fix this game? First of all, I will remove every random element in the game and change the random spawns so they have a spawn on a certain day or at a certain time, and have NPCs give you more hints and tips regarding recruitable Digimon. In fact, I think Digimon should always guide you to your next Digimon. And to fix the fatal flaw, there's actually a few ways to fix this. First of all, you could remove the death of old age, but that takes away from the monster raising simulation. So, if we remove lifespans, then we need a way to get new Digimon, because we want to play with our favourite Digimon. So, I'd add a way to collect Digi-eggs and have like a recruitable Digimon that can open a nursery, and then let the eggs hatch over time. And once the eggs have hatched, you can just swap your Digimon with that one. I'd also add more upgrades to the gym that you can get earlier in the game, and also make the training have a greater effect, just so you can reduce the amount of time you spend grinding. And also, reduce the amount of goddamn noise your Digimon makes. Zoom the camera angles out a bit, and add more stat boosts as a better reward for fighting enemies. Add attack and defense to the commands that you can give your Digimon during battle by default, make the brain stat have a higher chance to give you different attacks, and even have your stats affect different attack moves. During fights, making so that weaker attacks still hurt Digimon, but making so they don't get knocked down, unless it's a heavy attack. And also add a very basic weak attack that Digimon can do when they have no MP. There should also be more to the story, or at least add some backstory and plot to the Digimon that we can recruit. And also change the dialogue to something less dumb. The Digivolve chart should show what requirements you need to get certain Digimon, and there needs to be an item that cleans up poop. And that's all I can think of. I'm CST from the Girl of Awesome, thanks for watching, and stay awesome!